Ryan Hunter-Reay, you're wearing papaya orange, my guy. And not only do I love that, I love the idea of what this can be for you at the Indianapolis 500 with Arrow McLaren. Before we get into some of the details, I want to know your motivation behind this. You damn near won your second Indy 500 in May. What was the thought here? Go win your second, and this is about you and your pursuit of a second victory at the Speedway, helping a team that's come close with some friends who run that team, a little bit of both. What's the motivation here?
Yeah, I mean, this is multifaceted for sure, but it comes down to my passion and my drive for the 500, for winning the 500. I have too many close stories. I have too many stories of close calls to my second win, and I want to do something about that, and I want to make a difference in this group. Like you mentioned, it's a really strong group. I've been very impressed with Arrow McLaren's form, their ascent, that gradual ascent that they've made, the transition from where they were when this group started together after Schmidt to where they are now, the culture here, and like you said, I know most of the people here already. So yeah, all around, it's a great opportunity. Just like myself, they're not fielding that fourth car unless it's one that can absolutely win. That's the only reason why I'm going to Indy. I'm not going to Indy to be an IndyCar driver. I'm not going to Indy to be a participant. I'm going there to win. And like you mentioned, it was super close this past year, and I knew how bad that hurt me, that how much, again, it was just another realization of how much it means to me. So all of it together, and, being back with Chevy, same group I've been working with as well for many years. And, everything just kind of came together. There's been a lot of folks behind this, and I really want to make a difference also in the team. I want to be able to contribute, right? I'm not just here to take for myself and apply it to my chances of winning the race, but actually, contribute and make a difference if I can do that.
I want to stay there and talk about pain for a moment, which might be a weird thing. But so Pato O'Ward, this kid's mid-20s, he's done a handful of Indy 500s, failed to qualify in his first attempt to run there. So he started off with pain, but he's come so close. He's young, hasn't won it yet. Second place. We've seen that pain of coming close, but losing. Can you tell folks what that's like, though, Ryan, in your 40s, having won, having consumed the milk, been to the IndyCar mountaintop? That burning fire, though, man, it doesn't go. It shouldn't go away. If you're a top tier pro, he's had this happen while he's young. This is happening to you after 40. Tell me about that passion, man. That's another reason why you're back.
Yeah, I mean, I respect Pato's situation, because at Indy, to really have, I think, the full burn, that passion, you have to experience the full spectrum of emotions the place has to offer. I don't know if offer is the right word, but the full spectrum of emotions, right? He, like you said, he didn't make the show. I've been on the last row. I've been on the front row. I've been bumped out, won the race. It's every different side of it. I've come close to winning that second quite a few times, and I have a very, very deep respect and understanding for how everything needs to come together perfectly in a cohesive unit to make just a shot at having that last 10-lap shootout and having a shot at being in that group. So he's felt it. He's felt that the downside to it. Obviously, coming up short like that is worse. Finishing second is worse than finishing 10th for sure. I think that will do him well. I really do, because when you've been slighted, or when you come up short like that, especially at a place that means so much to all of us, and every team across the paddock, it gives you that extra little bit that somebody you're racing against might not have. That extra burn, that extra fire, and it's a unique place, and that's I feel privileged to, every time I get a chance to race the 500, to have another shot at it. So here we are in what should be, I think, one of the best chances I have.
How'd this this deal come together? There's always folks behind the scenes, I'm sure, but I know you wanted to be in this seat, but how'd this come together?
It came together relatively quickly. I had talked to Tony a little bit, I guess, right after the race, and then we kind of followed up a little bit after the season, and or towards the end of the season, I should say. But there were, like you said, there was a lot of folks behind the scenes that really pushed this forward. And pushed it forward in an expedited timeline. With that said, I am happy to have sorted a deal out in late October, early November, and now we get the opportunity to work together. Well in advance of ever being on track together. So, it's great, but all involved. I mean, everyone from Zach, Tony, Kevin, team principal, even shareholders, supporters behind the scenes. It's been, and everybody's been pulling in the same direction, which is what you love to see. It was actually a very streamlined process.
So what are the next 5, 6, however many months, what are those going to look like for you, Ryan? I assume you're not just going to show up for the Indy Open test next time you see everybody. How do you get integrated here? And I know it's a dumb question, but there are ways this can or can't happen, right? Some teams say, cool, got a program. We'll see you here once we get into 2026. You said you want to help make this team better, get it across the finish line to win the Indy 500. But like you did with Ed Carpenter Racing a couple years ago, also a very good friend, Ed said, hey, we know we can be better. You've won championships. You've done big things at other big teams. How could you help us level up? Is there going to be any of that in your near future?
Absolutely. I absolutely am going to be a part of it. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to say what I'm doing.
You can do whatever you want. You're Captain America, man. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, so we're testing, we're doing some development testing next week, and I'll be in the car for that for 3 days. And it's more of an opportunity just to get that working relationship flowing with the majority of the team. But, in my first 15 minutes as I walked in here, it was just familiar face after familiar face after familiar face. And I already sat down with Kyle Moyer, Eric Cowden. Tony and I are very good friends. We have been since really the backstory. Tony and I was at the time when I came in at the end of 2009. To drive for the team in 2010, Andretti was upside down. They were out of form, and Tony and I, right away from our first Sebring test together, we knew we had the same driving style, and working together, him and I, in conjunction with the other teammates as well, but really because we had exactly the same driving style, we completely came up with different setups for the 2010 season and got back on form, and we had a great working relationship, always did, and we also had a great relationship outside of the racetrack, but just that environment here and knowing so many folks already, it's not like I'm just walking into a team in a completely different category that I have no idea who anybody's name is. It's quite the opposite. So that's really cool to see. And yeah, I have a lot of experiences driving for many different teams. This will be my 10th IndyCar team, if you can believe that.
I think you get a free sandwich like at Subway or Mountain Mile, wherever it is. Right. I think you got the punch card for IndyCar teams.
At least a punch card. Yeah. The punch card where I get the free something. Maybe I'll get it. I get a polo. So it's and doing it here and coming back and working with these guys like Kyle Moyer that I worked with at Andretti Autosport for years, just catching up with him as he was at Penske. It's I've got a lot of catching up to do with these guys, and but I really just look forward to working with them all again. It's like a second shot to work with a bunch of people that I've had opportunities at different times in my career to work with, and now we're all together.
So tell us a little more about that side, Ryan, because You've got a great family life. You've got a bunch of sons who are you got to pay for their racing careers, I'm sure.
Oh boy.
Between you and your wife, Becky, two of you already pretty darn busy, but it's not like you're just lounging on the boat from June until April each year. Realize that your full-time IndyCar career, obviously, that is sunsetted, but you do enjoy this side, right? Hey, I can be of value to a team in the car, but also don't forget about me on the outside. This is a team that came second best to Chip Ganassi Racing last year from a championship standpoint. Know that they have the ability to contend for a title in 2026. The gap was a little bigger than they wanted, but if asked, is this something where you, with Kyle, with Kanan, with whomever, would be good trying to help this entire program get better, not just at Indy, but starting out at St. Pete?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love the entire dynamic of it. Obviously, they're, like I said, they're on form, right? And they're trending in the right direction. And I can already tell the atmosphere here, just having been here a short time and speaking with Tony and some of the management that things are really heading in the right direction for this team. And it's just, it's an honor to be a part of it. And I absolutely know I can contribute to it. It's just a matter of to what level, and I'll do anything I can in that process. But as you mentioned before, like, it's not like you're just on the boat. I actually, I wanted to see if we could do most of my interviews do like a background, where I'm just sitting there with a coconut drink, with the umbrella, whatever, just with the shirt, and sipping out of a straw. I think that would be funny, because that's what, like, Hinch and Rossi just have this narrative that I'm just sitting on a yacht all the time, which is far from true. But
those two who do nothing.
I do also want to say that my time at Dreyer and Reinbold, I absolutely have the utmost respect for that entire group. We went through a lot together, especially last year with the turnaround of the car, with the fire and all that stuff. But just an amazing group of people, and went above and beyond for me in many ways. So I just want to make sure that I do mention that, because I have a massive amount of respect for them, and fully believe that they can have another shot at a win at the 500.
I say this with the most possible amount of respect for Kyle Larson and some of the when Kanan came in to do his final 500, it was part of a last lap program. The extra Arrow McLaren car at the Indy 500 for a little while now, it's been a high-profile thing, right? Obviously, the desire is for it to do well in the race, but I think the focus is really on the primary full-time drivers. Could be wrong, but I think of you joining the team as not a, quote, high profile, look who we got for the fourth car, but no, we have four cars that can win this race. It seems there's a slightly different energy behind this as I see it. Tell me about blending in with these young knuckleheads. I'm sure they'll have a cane for you or a walker or some sort of age-related joke when you show up, but this is a young core that has phenomenal potential. Tell me about plugging into that and being a contributor, not just old man, not just kind of, I don't want to say gimmicky fourth car.
The fourth car at Arrow McLaren has been, that big splash reveal. There's been some major badasses in the seat, and continues to be. This time being that it's one that has a lot of experience in an Indy 500 win, and it is a bit of a different approach for sure. And like I mentioned before, we're all doing this because it is going to be run like a primary car. It's not just the add-on afterthought, throw it together, see what happens type of deal. That's not at all what's going on here. This is an effort to go win the Indy 500, and I'll be giving it. I'll be wringing its neck 120%, no doubt. But working with Pato, I remember being at Andretti when he was coming up. He was in lights. I remember vividly seeing him and Colton battle each other in lights. Two super young guys, hard chargers, and I knew right then watching those guys. I remember at Portland sitting there watching it in hospitality, and I'm like, these guys are going to be they're going to be forces to be reckoned with in IndyCar, and absolutely have become that. But yeah, I've been friends with Pato since his time at Andretti and Lights when I was there. So I have a good relationship with him. Christian, I got to know a lot better this year in the bus lot, because I take the golf clubs out, swing them now and again on the IMS at the Brickyard, and he as well. And then Nolan, I got to know like a community day, super nice kid, and certainly has a bright future. So yeah, doesn't seem to be anything really standing in the way of this whole thing working out as a really cohesive unit. And like I said, I'll bring whatever I can to the table, offer up as much as I can with my years of experience working with 10 different IndyCar teams now, and one of the biggest ever, which was Andretti, which I don't know, at one point I think we were fielding 6 cars at the 500. So yeah, we got a lot I want to apply to it, that's for sure.
When you were coming up into Champ Car, coming out of Atlantic, coming out of Barber Dodge, boy, if there was an IndyCar driver in their late 30s, everyone knew the clock was ticking loud. Rarely were those drivers in their late 30s feared in the way that they once were. And man, if you were tipping over into 40, like you were on a retirement tour effectively. Tell folks how times have changed. No, I'm serious, but you know this because we saw this as well. It's like, good old Harry's hanging around and collecting paychecks, but boy, the podium's a long way away. Different era that we're in right now. Scott Dixon, right? Championship top 3 again, winner again last season. He's 40, whatever. Takuma Sato, a raging monster at the 500. Will Power, like the cluster of folks like yourselves, 40, mid 40s, who are badasses. That's a different dynamic than what we came up through when you and I were younger men in the sport. Why is that? What's different now that allows y'all to be the threats that you are? I
don't know. Maybe over the years of I think fitness is a bigger aspect. Not necessarily. I shouldn't say bigger, more important aspect. It is focused on more than it was when I was coming in to the sport in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now. Yeah, everybody's taking care of themselves, I guess, a lot better than maybe back then. I'm not really sure what it is, but I think we're also a unique group at that side. Like the guys that you mentioned, right, in their 40s into their mid 40s, whatever it is. With Dixon obviously being in a category of his own on numbers in many ways, but yeah,
Elio's in there too.
Will Power being fastest qualifier, insane amount of wins. Takuma Sato, I don't even know how old he is, but he doesn't. Every year he comes back, looks like the same dude. It's like it's the same thing, right? Every year, and he still drives with the same intensity. And you really know. I think as a driver, like when something is just shy in any category of preparation, or you're not really looking forward to this or that. That's it. It's time. Back up. Go do something else, maybe within the industry, within the sport. But when it's time. And I've heard that from like Gilles de Ferran, so many good mentors I've had over the years. And when it's time, that's it. It's for me at the 500, it's not. And I have a lot to contribute. And I've got that fire, and came very close last year. So I'm looking forward to this opportunity, no doubt.
Hey, let's finish up on this. One of my favorite things that's happened for you somewhat recently, thanks to your wife, Becky. Car number 31, right? Young Ryan Hunter-Reay coming into Champ Car, American Spirit, Johansson, Champ Car, Reynard, red, white, and blue. I think it had your name on the side pod. It's very Ricky Bobby before Ricky Bobby. I don't know if we're going to have Ryan on the side pod of your number 31 Arrow McLaren Chevy.
I hope not.
But there's a cool callback to the start of your Champ Car career here. Tell us about getting that number, and also where you are or aren't at with restoring your first Champ Car that Becky found and presented to you for your birthday here.
Yeah, wild to see that car just materialize, show up at Indy. I had barely slept that night. It was the night prior to the fire. I was doing seat fits in the middle of the night, all this stuff. I had barely slept, so I was like a zombie. And all of a sudden, this my car from Surfers that I had not seen since Surfers Paradise. My first
2003
comes lowering out of the trailer. 2003, absolutely wild. But yeah, the 31. I ran that in karting as it had started. I ran a 13 because Dan Marino was like my idol football.
Yeah.
I ran 13 when I was younger in karting, and we went to a national at Jacksonville or something, and 13 was taken. So we obviously took the numbers that we had in the drawer, flipped them around. 31, I won the race, ran it from there on, probably from 95 or something like that on, all the way through, at Arrow at American Spirit. What a cool looking Reynard too. That thing was awesome. Haven't gone very far with the Renault on it, but big props to Ryan Reinbold, sitting over there pretty in the shop, gave me a number on a repaint and all that stuff, and be like, I'll just wait on that for a little bit here. We'll see.
I've offered to help with the restoration. I've gotten no calls or texts from you, so clearly my kind of questionable skills as an old IndyCar mechanic and whatnot, not really in demand, apparently.
Oh, it's in demand, trust me, and I'll be calling
free,
you out.
Right?
I'm going to send you out on a Greyhound bus, and you're going to come over and help me with it. But it's not exactly that high on my list right now, like the priority list. It's somewhere down here to restore it, but it'll happen for sure.
So first of all, what I've just learned is you have completely failed Hunter-Reay in your contract with Kanaan and Brown to have that included. They must restore the number 31 for you. So I don't know. You got to, dude. Your contractual creativity is failing here. So
it wasn't really the time to get too creative with the asks. So, but yeah, that's a good idea. Where were you a few weeks ago on that?
Just a little asterisk. If add it to your contract, if we win or quote podium, that's one of the deals. I like that.
I like it.
All right. Well, hey, this kind of stuff doesn't happen a crazy amount later in one's career, right? And I don't say that in a critical way towards you, but you do this long enough. You reach the peak as you have, IndyCar champion, Indy 500 winner. There comes a point where things start to downshift a little bit in terms of the quality of opportunities. You're going to the Indy 500, man, having almost won it last year with one of the great small teams, getting to go back with one that has gotten sick and tired of being runner-up or third and is on the cusp of something big. Just tell us about that as we say goodbye here of, man, maybe if you do things right, maybe if you treat people the right way, maybe things don't necessarily have to slow down in terms of quality of opportunities as you get older. Kind of living proof, man, that, good things can still happen if you keep pushing and keep dreaming.
I appreciate it. And you know what? It's all about in business and life in general. Family, all of it. It's all about people, really. These organizations, we race cars for a living, right? We're in competition to win the biggest race in the world, this, that, and the other. But it's all about the people. It's about the people you're working with, how you interact within that circle, and how you pull and extract the maximum from that group. And that network that I've worked with for many years is right here as well. So it's kind of coming around, and I love the position that the team is in because, like I've been saying, right, that trajectory's been heading up. They haven't peaked and won 2 Indy 500s in a row, and they're maybe just complacent, or maybe some complacency might set in. I'm not saying that would ever happen, but I love the position the team's at right now because, or the position it is currently in, because everyone here is hungry, and I am as well. So when you get a great group of people together that are determined, hungry, and passionate about what they're putting forth and the effort they're putting in, sky's the limit. So let's go.
You're writing your own headlines. Hunter-Reay hungry for another Indy 500 win. Look at that. All right, my guy. Congratulations. Thanks for wearing clothes for a change. Too bad we didn't get you on the boat with a little coconut drink, but we got time.
Love it.